Hello, everyone. It's the Sky Priestess. How is everybody? I hope you're all doing good. We've come through some very, very, very hard times recently, especially with that new moon and then with the grand fire trine involving all of those bodies which I've been talking about. And so, I've been looking at it reflected in the news, reflected in recent notable deaths, of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Also been seeing it coming up in different types of events happening all over the world. So, those themes have certainly come through in the collective. Um, and I know I just had a couple of free moments. Things have been interesting to say the least, which is always a euphemism for shit's been going on. And yeah, we've just been taking it a day at a time and trying to do our best in difficult circumstances, but that's true for everybody. So I just wanted to touch base since, of course, the sun has entered Libra. We are at the time of the equinox. Um, well, that went exact yesterday, but it's still the energy is still very much in the air. It's that energy of trying to find a turning point of the wheel, a sense of balance in a year that has been essentially about escalating chaos. But there are good things to be said. There are good things to be said. We are allowing ourselves to, collectively move into yet another turning of the wheel, and it's important to mark that passage. So today I was thinking about what should I say, how should I say it, what should we cover. Today is more about just a community check-in, what's going on with all of you, what's been happening with you. How have you been these past couple of days? I know it's been very, very tough for some of you, and I get your messages and I'm going, yep, we're in it. But I also know that others have managed to find significant breakthroughs in their own path, their own lives, their own processes, and have, tried to find themselves into a greater point of balance. So I'm opening the floor up before we get into anything. So let's see who's here. Hello, Drea. Hello, Matt Titan. Hello, Burnt Sienna. Hello, Faith. Hello to all of you. How have you been? What's going on? Give me deets. So I'm just going to wait for a little bit of response to that. Hello, VB. And nice to see you. How has everyone been? What's going on? That'd be my first question. How have the past couple of days been? So, if I get some responses, I'll be able to respond to it. Otherwise, I shall keep talking. So, in terms of stuff that, oh, here we go. Hello, Dream Warrior. He says, hey, what's up? Managing, living, doing my best. I would say that's the standard response I give these days. Hello, Jolene. Hello, CNC Music. Hello to everyone. It's good to see all of you here. Let's see. I think the most interesting and cute thing, I should say, the most interesting and cute thing that happened to me recently was I was playing with my cat, and she managed to do this she was playing on the ground, and I had her toy on the bed, and she jumped up and she caught it in this really epic backflip and landed on my computer. It happened yesterday, but it was one of those moments where I really wish I had a camera. But this has been one of those things that have made me smile through these days. Let's see who else is here. Bern Sienna, hello. I've been having the worst case of deja vu. That is interesting. I've been having some of that recently myself. Future 5001 says, hello. These few days have been crazy. I agreed. Jaya says, I've been really good, happy, fantastic. It's been a while since I've heard anyone say that. Well done. Well done. Dream Warrior says, just dealing with online college lol. How is it? Is the experience good? Is it weird? How's it going? Faith E says, doing good. How are you? Better, certainly in happier spirits after this equinox. That sun in Virgo is, whoa, that was a roller coaster. But, I've been having some clients today. I took the entire last week off because I just kind of went, it's too dense. There is no point in trying to help someone through times in which everyone's being massively triggered. And I'd say that was a good choice. Just work with a very heavy client today, but someone I've known for years, and I could actually help them find a solution out of their situation that I would not have been able to do a few years ago. So that was nice. And it's certainly just bringing back those lessons of the sun in Libra, temperance, much like the tarot card. observing things, looking at things, taking a step back, and so on and so forth. Let's see who else is here. Vivi says, I hope things are fine with you and your brother and the little cats. They're getting better. They're getting better. That's good. Thank you for the well wishes. Jennifer Snowball says, hello, so good to catch you live. She says, I'm doing much better. Hope you are too. Things are certainly starting to look up. Fingers crossed. Bramjot9 says, hi, Dr. B. Keeping your advice in mind and staying away from trouble. That is smart. That is good. And keep doing it. Speaking of, hang on. We've got Whole Soul Drumming, sending love from Portland. Hello, friend. How are you? What's Portland like? What's going on right now? Feel free to touch base. There's just a lot happening, and it's hard to keep up with everything. And of course, my computer decided to show you my bed. Hang on, current bed. Here we go. And Savannah says, silent observer here, but saying hi today. Hello, Savannah. Thank you for saying hi. Sair says, greetings. Hello, Sair. Now, just so all of you know, since we've got a nice little number going on, today we got Mercury at 25 Libra, squared Saturn at 25 Capricorn. A lot of deals and contracts are being signed and put into motion. We also got Venus at 19 Libra in conjunct Neptune and 19 Pisces. It's a good day for spiritual facilitation work and artistic and creative work. It's also a day where Mars opposes Haumea. Haumea is, of course, the mother of Pele. Very, very amazing day to be just listening to the earth and seeing what she's saying. And that's certainly already come up with me today. And of course, Mercury enters the shadow phase at 25 degrees of Libra. This is yet to happen, but it is coming in the next few hours. But, not few hours. It's happening in roughly 14 hours from now-ish. No, roughly 15 hours from now. So, we're in a time where we've got this excellent window of opportunity between now and the next 15 hours. Get stuff signed, do what you gotta do, because, we're going to actually be quite thankful for Mercury retrograde this year, I would say. Mars is already in retrograde, and Mercury is also going to ask us to slow down and not to take things easy, but to take things one day at a time. So, given the fact that we are also looking forward to, not too long from now, we're looking forward to Saturn stationing direct, we're looking forward to Pluto stationing direct over the next few days, it's actually a good time for us to not propel ourselves, too eagerly into the brink. There's been a lot of plans that have been placed on hold for a long time, but today is a good day for you to put things into, consolidation, especially in this next few hours. So maybe I'm just feeling a little bit more hopeful with this. Let's see. Let's turn back to the comments. Diana says, good morning, beautiful soul. Good morning to you. Jennifer Snowball says, have you found a good place to stay at more permanently yet? Yes. And today I finally signed that contract. I swear I'm not doing it on the basis of astrology. The astrology follows me. Well, it follows everybody. But but yes, today we finally signed the contract. I'm very excited about it. We're fingers crossed. And hopefully, I'll be able to actually give you timings as to when Hello Neighbor and my other lives will be. So, having a stable place to be is very, very important. Let's see. Brandon Lewis says, hi, Sky Priestess. Much love. Glad to see you live. Thank you. Thank you for chiming in. Bui Mukshekwa says, hey, Dr. B, I hope you're well. So good to catch you. Do you have any tips for being ghosted? Okay. You realize who you're talking to. You gotta specify what kind of ghost, man. Woman, being, you know what I mean? Are you talking about just someone not talking to you, or are you talking about the other thing? Okay, so How to Gastro says, good morning, Dr. B, lots of love, and to you. Jennifer Snowball says, yes, so good to hear this. I'm very excited as well. I kept my mouth shut until it was signed. So, and that's what I've been recommending people do. You got to do something. You don't need to make a big fanfare about it. Just get it done. Savita says, hi, B. Good to hear you say something positive, unlike a lot of people saying the exact opposite. Well, I've already been talking about theories the whole year. So I know I've done my work in preparing people. So this is a case of, it's a case of, yep, those of you who have been following me for a while, hopefully you've been doing the work, and hopefully this is a time where you can actually reap the rewards rather than getting stuck in the, oh my God, what's happening type energy. Elijah Dimitri says, hello, Woo, congratulations on your new place. Thank you. It's still a couple of days before we move in. But, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Everything will be fine. And yeah, I'll be doing lives from there. And I'm excited. I'm super excited. This is my excited face. So, Vivi says, oh, nice to know you found a nice place to stay. Thank you. You know what it was, and this is where things are just messing about with you. um like we've been looking for so long and we haven't had a single clear answer as to why it's not happened, and in addition to all of the weird psychic bullshit. And this one agent that we found, because this is the way the universe works. Sometimes a shitty thing happens so that a good thing can happen. So that we had quote unquote tampering and nearly died on the highway. And so we couldn't make it to the Airbnb that we were supposed to because we had to go get towed and everything. And that guy was being an asshole. Didn't care, didn't want to know, blah. So we had to find something else. So I will contact this woman. It's a bit shady because she's an Airbnb host, but she wants me to take a different property. And my brother goes, how do you know? And so on. She sends me her copy of her ID card. I'm like, all right, fine, let's just do it. We don't have a choice. So we go there, middle of the night, and she lets us in at midnight, and we are coming in a tow truck. So it's all very dramatic. And the next morning, I basically just drop slip. I go, well, if you know people who are real estate agents in the area, she sends me this list. And the first person that I'm drawn to on the list, I just call. And she talks to me and she goes, why haven't you gotten a house? I said, well, there's no human reason why. And she goes, are you working? I said, yeah, I mean, I've been doing the same business for about 7 years now. And she goes, but you mean no one's asked you about this? I said, no, they haven't. So she's the first person who asks me for my business registration certificate, uses us as collateral, gets us a really sweet joint, lots of nature around it, which is nice. And yeah, it was just one of those moments where through terrible circumstances, we met the right person at the right time who could help us. And that's a very Aquarian thing. No one's invested and dying to help us or save us. It just happens. Boom, boom, boom. So that's good. That's how we found the place. So let's see. Uh, okay, let's see what's going on here. Limitless being, I caught you live, beautiful. Have you ever heard of the absolute, what is said to be beyond creation? I have no idea. Um, I mean, if you're talking about what's beyond creation, you mean what's beyond manifest form? Yes, I don't know if I'd call that absolute, but sometimes people use the same terms for different words. I don't know. But I've not heard it described in that term before. So, let's see. Bui Mukshekwa, ha ha ha, ghosted like someone stopping talking. I can deal with the others. Good. Well, if someone stopped talking with you, there's not much you can do about it unless you want to be really creepy. But, if you feel that it's a miscommunication, or you could, but if someone stopped talking to you without getting your side of the story, you got to ask yourself if they're really worth talking to. So, Tara Divine Light says, morning, sweet soul. Hope you're doing well. These past few days have been challenging to say the very least, but I've been listening to your advice, laying low and avoiding trouble. If I were to print a t-shirt, I might make a lot of money. Just avoid trouble. Okay, VB asks, Dr. B, does fall equinox have any significance for countries in South Asia, like how it is given importance in the Western European countries? This is a very good question. So the first thing to note is that the equinox is different in different hemispheres. So, for example, I'm in Malaysia right now. People automatically assume that it's the southern hemisphere. Whereas if you look at the longitude and latitude, India and which is where VB is from. I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying it. India and Malaysia are actually still northern hemisphere. So when you're looking at it in terms of latitude, longitude, it's important to note that point. So a place that's flat out in the southern hemisphere, for example, like Australia, so while somewhere in the US would be celebrating the fall equinox, they would be celebrating the corresponding equinox. So, because when one side has winter, the other side has summers or spring. I should know this, but but effectively, the weather patterns are opposite based on which side of the hemisphere. Now, your question is more, I'm guessing it's more focused towards countries like ours that are closer to the equatorial line, where the difference in the days is not so, it's not as dramatic. I would still say it's important for an astrological reason, because this is when the sun shifts into another cardinal sign, which is of course Libra. So for example, equinoxes and solstices all correspond with the current Western tropical model of astrology. So when we have, for example, the solstice, it's going to be when the sun's entering, for example, 0 degrees of Capricorn. When we're having the equinox, it's entering 0 degrees of Libra. So it's all about the cardinal signs and the new directions and turns in energy that all of us are experiencing. So basically, yes, it's still very important, even if you live close to the equatorial line, because it's about the astrological turn of the wheel. So for us, it's not going to be that, there's going to be that much difference between the length of day and night. It's going to be that this is another chapter of energy. This is another turning. And of course, different cultures that use different astrological systems will be celebrating the same thing, but in different ways. But it's all about just that turning of the wheel. Let's see. Where is it? Here we go. Ah, hang on. I'm looking at the text. While lovely one says good morning, afternoon again, lol, hello. Aisha says glad to catch you live. Anthony Gumball says hi. Um, Limitless Being says yes, beyond manifest form. What do you call it? I think I wouldn't call it anything because then it wouldn't be formless no more. Samir asks, how has Reiki changed over time? In one of your past lives, one of my okay, past YouTube lives. I'm sorry, I read that as past life. I'm like, did you know me? In one of your past YouTube lives, you said something about newer frequency and adapting to it. I would say that really comes down to the level of attunement that your teachers have. So, when you're working with any kind of energetic modality, you need to be attuned to the frequency of the new that is coming in. So that depends on whoever is doing the attunement for you. So, whole stone drumming, whole soul drumming, as reading the text early. Are there any stones that you'd recommend working with to support detoxification and returning to balance after extreme toxin exposure? The wildfire smoke here was wicked and we're all recovering. First of all, I am sorry to hear that. Of course, I've heard about this. This is red skies, man. I think there was a video where they actually took pictures of what's happening in California and put the Blade Runner music to it, and people couldn't tell the difference. In terms of your question, the thing that comes to mind, I'm sure there are other things that also help with detoxification, but the thing that really comes to mind is aventurine. Extraordinarily good at healing and also protection. The one Chartine says, hello, so nice to catch you live. Cheers. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and spiritual insight. Most welcome. John Philip Stevenson, do you use horary astrology to investigate past events? I do investigate past events when needed. Elijah Dimitri says, I've been noticing a lot of Sumerian and Babylonian energy and images coming up lately. Is there anything in the stars reflecting this? I would say, given the recent alignments to the galactic center, yes. It simply means that you're likely to have had some dealings or experience with it in the past as part of whatever path of knowledge or searching you were seeking. Latania says, greetings to you. Vivi says, the cycle light holder on the ceiling is very nice. Not mine, but I completely agree. It is quite nice, isn't it? I like it. It's like, the ET poster, ET go home. But yes, I agree. It is quite nice. So, Drea says, if in California, go by the coastline, the air is fresh. That is a useful tip. So, what else is happening with all of you? How is everyone? What's going down? Listen, waiting for more responses. Let's see. Oh, Wholesome Drumming says, thank you for the suggestion. I'll add some aventurine to my grid. Check and see if aventurine is safe to use for making a direct gemstone elixir, because even if it's direct or indirect, it can be a very, very potent tool in facilitating healing, I believe. Joyce, are you serious? Says greetings and salutations. Greetings, greetings. But yeah, I'd say that seems to have. Oh, hang on. Limitless being. What advice do you have for people having trouble fully awakening and embodying the multidimensional self and opening gifts? I am a very boring person, like super boring. Um, Life has taught me that being boring is actually safe. Um, but not in the way you would expect. On the surface, my life seems very exciting, but my approach to it is very boring. I would say when it comes to opening up your psychic gifts and whatnot, if you're having trouble with it and you're actively trying to open it, stop. Um, just because when it comes to opening your psychic senses, there's a reason why astrology is very powerful. It's the kind of energy that tells you when certain key activations are going to occur. And some of these are also age specific, they're also biology specific. And for certain key moments in a person's life, especially for people who give birth, that act and that process also accelerates and changes your relationship with spirituality forever. So, astrology, key life cycle events, these are things that naturally open a person up. So I would say one should not be trying to access their gifts at all. Because if it's yours, it's going to come to you. So you don't need to look for it. Focus on something that you actually enjoy just being with and being in the flow with, and that will help you find your gift. I told you I'm boring, but it works. And it's usually a safer method. What I have seen more often than not is people who are looking too hard, who are trying too hard, who are pushing too hard. And sometimes they push hard enough and they open a door that is premature for them to open. Because everyone's level of readiness and maturity to handle this is different. Some people can handle a high frequency at the age of 6. Other people will not even look at it their entire lives. And for some people, it's in their 30s. For some people, it's in their 40s. It really depends on the person. Do not push, let it come. That would be my honest advice. Simple, boring, but it works. Let's see. Aisha asks, do you also feel the wheel of fortune turning? Everything feels chaotic, but I feel it might be a result of things being moved into place. I agree. How do you get grounded with this wild energy? You go with it. You go with it and you try not to direct it. Limitless Being says, not boring. Oh, good. Glad to hear it. That response was exactly what I needed. Thank you. Most welcome. VB says, I have realized stopping myself from expressing emotion, positive or negative, is really hard. Sometimes wonder how to channel these energies. Well, a lot of people use art for that purpose. They find merit in drawing, painting, singing, working with pottery, whatever, and they channel their emotions that way. Sometimes it is safe to actually just say what you're feeling, but it also depends on the people around you and whether or not that's just going to escalate things. So don't be stoic. Go find something that you actually love to do. It can be as simple, simple, but it can be as immediate as doodling something in your notepad. It can be knitting a scarf. It can be arranging rocks so they look pretty. Whatever it is. And of course, it can be hugging a tree. Hugging a tree when you need a hug. I've done that. It is totally not crazy. It feels good because a nice tree will hug you back. And most trees are nice. So, I would say that, yeah, that's perfectly natural. It sounds to me like you need a creative outlet, whatever that is, not to escape, but to actually just put your emotions into something that's productive and creative. I remember reading this meme on Facebook. I think that's the only thing that I really miss about Facebook. It's that these useful memes come up, and the people that I used to be connected to, at least on Facebook, they'd always be posting all of these kinds of things. Instagram is shit. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you follow me on Instagram, but the ads are absolute shit. And they're just annoying me. But um, mind you, Facebook was already changing when I left. But one of the memes that I saw that I really liked was, in moments of uncertainty, when you feel like you can't do anything else, one of the greatest things that you can do is knit a sock. And a sock will just gives you a sense of accomplishment, that even in a time of uncertainty and change, you can actually do something, you can create something. And maybe knitting isn't your thing, maybe it's origami, maybe it's cooking, whatever it is, but make something, even if it's small, and have a small sense of pride and accomplishment. A little bit of pride is a healthy thing. It's when it comes, it gets really weird. But do something that allows you to create, even if it's this small, if it's yours and you're proud of it. It's good and it helps. I see the tree huggers have come out. Latanya says, I'm a tree hugger. Limitless Being says, trees are amazing for hugs and conversations and just hanging out with. This is true. This is true. Now, if, of course, a tree has been witness to a lot of bloodshed and carnage, those are very heavy conversations. I've seen those as well. But yeah, let's see what else we got going on here. Anybody else? So is it time to sign off for this installation? All right, giving you a minute. Let me see. I think I've answered everybody. Uh, choo, 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 choo. Oh, okay. Wholesome drumming has come back. For what it's worth, I compared sources just now, and most say aventurine is safe for water-based elixirs. I highly recommend that. If you can combine that with a Reiki symbol, that would be fantastic. Kayla asks, do you use sidereal or tropical? Well, tropical. I grew up with sidereal. I didn't find that it worked for me, so I said no. Simple. Um, let's see. Limitless Being says, thank you for sharing your energy and being with us all. Most welcome. Dria Kalibana says, gratitude, most welcome. Keep the faith, keep going. I know these are tough times, but you know what? We, we've been through a lot this year. And there's going to be more activity. Oh, Vivi has just answered that question. Vivi asked, do you think there'll be huge changes politically in the next couple of months? I was just about to get to this. Um, okay. I would say, there's going to be a lot happening this year. And a lot of these things are external events that we cannot control, because the seeds of this have already been set a long time ago. And the only thing that we can control, as I was talking about in my previous video, the only thing we can really control is our response to things. And that's the basis of any kind of spiritual, religious, mystical, astrological teaching worth its salt. What you cannot control the outside world around you, you can control how you respond to it. And when you have that degree of self-control to respond accordingly and not react, that is the space that you need to create change around you. When you try to go into the world from a space of ungroundedness, being heavily triggered, whatever's going on with you, because something's going on in everybody, I would say. But when you try and engage to change in the world, from that space of just spinning all over the place, it's not going to work. Start within. When you have that space of not even certainty, but just enough clarity where you know where you stand, that's when you need to look at things and try to sort things out. So, with that in mind, having said that, signing off. Those of you who just joined, do catch the recap. Sending all of you much love, many blessings, and yeah, just keep at it. Ciao, ciao for now. Oh, hang on. A friend just came online. Ah, hello, Rajat. Hello, Mir. Mir is a small, cute friend. I met him when he was a small boy, like tiny. And I'm going to share this story because I don't think that he would mind. When I went to meet him, I was in an airport and I found this little toy. I forget what it was. It was a white tiger, I believe. I think it was a tiger. Rajat, was it a tiger or a lion? But I think it was a tiger. And he's a small little boy, and he refused to call it a tiger, and he just kept calling it a doggy. So each time I see Mir, I keep asking him, "How is this little doggy?" Even though it's not a dog. But anyway, Mir is a little friend. I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. And white tiger, there we go. But of course, for him, it is the doggy. So sending all of you love, sending all of my four-legged friends, my two-legged friends, my little two-legged friends and little four-legged friends and friends with feathers and so on and so forth. Lots of love and many blessings and hugs. And yeah, ciao ciao to all of you. Bye.